There is a 1998 Toyota Camry with 412,000 miles on it sitting in a driveway in Tucson, Arizona right now. Original engine, original transmission. The guy who owns it paid $9,000 for it, used in 2003. He has spent less than $4,000 in repairs over 22 years. $4,000 total, over 2 decades. Meanwhile, the average American now spends over $1,400 every single year just on repairs and maintenance, and that number has climbed 25% since 2022. So what does that Camry owner know that the rest of us don't? And why is it getting harder and harder to find a modern car that can pull off the same trick? Here is what nobody in the automotive industry wants to say out loud. The cars rolling off assembly lines today are not built the same way. So every manufacturer had a direct financial incentive to build the most durable, most dependable vehicle possible. Reliability was the entire pitch. The engines that came out of that era reflected exactly that pressure. The Toyota 2JZ, the Honda B-Series, the Nissan KA24. These were mechanically simple, overbuilt engines with wide tolerances, minimal electronics, and almost no single point of failure. They were designed to be fixed, designed to be understood, designed to last. Then something shifted. By the mid-2000s, the reliability gap between brands had largely closed. Every manufacturer had figured out how to build a car that would survive the warranty period. And once that happened, the incentive structure quietly inverted. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. A car that lasts 30 years only gets sold once. A car that needs a new transmission at 120,000 miles and a new infotainment system that can only be replaced at a dealership generates revenue for decades after the sale. And that is where it gets interesting, because this did not happen all at once. It happened through 1,000 small decisions made over 20 years. Add more sensors, integrate the electronics deeper, use thinner metals where regulations allow, make the oil passages narrower for fuel efficiency, build the transmission to shift faster even if it runs hotter. None of these decisions alone kills a car, but together they produced vehicles that are dramatically more complex, more expensive to repair, and statistically shorter-lived than the machines they replaced. IC Cars ran an analysis of vehicles most likely to reach 200,000 miles. The results were not subtle. Toyota and Honda dominated the list, but look closer at which models. The Tacoma, the Sequoia, the Tundra. These are vehicles built on platforms that prioritize mechanical durability over feature complexity. Toyota has been running a version of the same basic truck architecture for decades. They refine it. They do not reinvent it. There is a reason the Tacoma holds its resale value better than almost anything else on the market. The market knows something the brochure will never tell you. Compare that to the vehicles filling NHTSA's complaint database right now. Dual-clutch transmissions that overheat under stop-and-go driving. Turbocharged engines that make impressive horsepower numbers on paper, but require perfect maintenance to survive past 80,000 miles. Infotainment systems wired so deep into basic vehicle functions that a software failure can take out features that have nothing to do with entertainment. These are not freak failures. These are patterns. And the owners experiencing them are not doing anything wrong. They are just driving complex systems with less margin than they were led to believe they had. So what did 90s cars actually get right, and how do you replicate it today? The first thing is maintenance consistency. 90s engines were tolerant of imperfect owners because they were built with room for error. Modern engines are not. Tighter tolerances, variable valve timing systems, turbocharged bearings, all of these are sensitive to oil quality and change intervals in ways older engines simply were not. The habit: oil changes on time, every time. Transmission fluid at 60,000 miles, regardless of what the sticker says. Coolant flush every 50,000 miles. On a modern engine, skipped maintenance compounds faster than it ever did on an overbuilt 90s motor. The second thing is cold start behavior. Those older engines ran at temperatures that left margin for error. Modern engines tuned for fuel economy run hotter and tighter. When you start a cold modern engine and immediately drive hard, you are running metal against metal before the oil has fully circulated. The habit: 90 seconds of easy, low RPM driving after every cold start before you ask anything of the engine. Done consistently over 100,000 miles, this single habit is measurably protective of turbocharger bearings, piston rings, and cylinder walls. The third thing is load discipline. 1990s trucks were typically overbuilt relative to their rated capacity. Modern vehicles are engineered much closer to their limits, which means consistently operating near maximum tow or payload generates heat and stress. The drivetrain was not designed to absorb long-term. The habit: if you tow regularly, drop your working load 10 to 15% below the manufacturer maximum. The spec sheet number is a legal ceiling, not an engineering recommendation. The fourth thing is fluid quality. Full synthetic oil, always changed at the interval your engine actually requires, not the extended intervals some manufacturers now recommend for marketing reasons. If you are in a turbocharged vehicle, air shorter. The cost difference between a 5,000-mile change and a 10,000-mile change is trivial. The cost of a failed turbocharger is not. The fifth thing is ownership knowledge. The vehicles that reach 400,000 to 500,000 miles almost always share one characteristic beyond maintenance. They have one or two owners who know them, who notice when something sounds slightly different, who catch a small leak before it becomes catastrophic. The habit: pay an independent mechanic $150 for a pre-purchase inspection on any used vehicle. It is the best investment in longevity you can make before you ever turn the key. That Camry in Tucson is not magic. It is the product of a vehicle designed when durability was the competitive advantage, maintained by an owner who understood what he had. The cars being built today are capable of the same longevity, but they require more precise maintenance and an owner who knows that the complexity added in the name of convenience comes with a cost. Know that cost. Pay it on your terms. If this channel helps you do that, subscribe. We do this every week.